The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
So an incredible story. Just read it last night. It's Rav Toysig, I think his name, well-known Rav in Bnei Brak. He has a brother. His brother lives in Beersheba. Passed away already. This is a pretty recent story. So this, I think his name is Rav Toysig. His brother lives in Beersheba, and they had yahrzeit for their father. So he's in Bnei Brak, the brother's in Beersheba. Of course, it's the yahrzeit you want to daven for the Yomid. So he goes to Minyan, of course, in the morning, ready for say Kaddish, ready to daven for the Yomid. 9 Jews in shul. 9 Jews. It's not going to cut it. We need another Jew. The waiting doesn't seem to be happening. He goes out on the street, and he's looking for a Jew. Very quiet, and all of a sudden he sees one fellow, clearly not a religious fellow. He's got the hair down, the shaggy hair down to the shoulders. Definitely does not look as somebody knowledgeable of Judaism too much. And he says, you know what? It's Eretz Yisrael, it's Beersheba. He says to him, I have 9 people. Can you join us for a minyan? And he says, not really. I'm not interested. He says, my father passed away, and I have a chance during this, it's a special day, to say prayers on his behalf of his neshama. If you join us, it'll be a tremendous favor for me personally, because you'll be able to help me pray. He says, I don't do mitzvos. I'm not a religious Jew. I never even prayed. Never prayed before. I don't know what it is to talk to God. He says, you have the same, your neshama was carved out from beneath the kisya kavod, from the heavenly throne, like all other Jews. And God loves your prayers, and your prayers are accepted no matter who you are. And you're a Jew, and God loves your prayers. Something he said sparked him. He said, okay. Came in, gave him a yarmulke, gave him a siddur. He told him basically what to do. They go through the davening. He's able to say Kaddish. He comes over to him, and he said, thank you so much, you mamish. Yeah, you really made my day, because it would have been really devastating if I couldn't daven for my father, say Kaddish. My father, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Life goes on. 14 years later, 14 years later, this fellow walks into this Rav Toysig's brother. I don't know if he was a rabbi or not. He walks into a supermarket in Geula. 14 years later, walks into a supermarket in Geula. He happens to, a lot of people would payas in Geula. He happens to see a fellow, and he's standing there, whatever, and he's got payas with the cute little kids on the side, and he looks at Rav Toysig's brother, and he says, you remember me? He looks at him and he says, I don't remember you. He says, remember about 14 years ago, remember you needed a minyan? Remember the guy you stopped on the street? He says, yeah, I remember that. He says, that's me. I almost fainted. He almost fainted, and he said, I don't believe it. He says, I have to tell you, you are the reason. You're one of the reasons. It was a long journey, no doubt, but that day, when you told me that every Jew's prayers are heard, Kadosh Baruch Hu wants to hear every Jew's prayers, and that's every Jew, no matter how long your hair is, no matter whether you're in Eretz Yisrael, in Beersheba, Los Angeles, Afghanistan, Russia, doesn't matter where you are. No matter where you are a Jew. Those words just sort of stuck with me, gave me some kind of a connection, spiritual connection. And I came back in the davening, and I felt so good about the fact that I was able to help you. I came back told my wife what happened, and step by step, I now learn in a kollel all day. My kids go to yeshiva in Yerushalayim. My family is completely turned over, and it just sort of struck me. The 800 or so people that passed away over this horrific Simchas Torah that again will live in infamy in Jewish history as a day with such darkness and such tragedy and such devastation. And they are definitely coming from different backgrounds and different affiliations and different levels of knowledge, but they're 8,800,000 Kedoshim. 800 Kedoshim, just like there's 6 million Kedoshim. These are 800 Kedoshim because they died because they were Jewish. But I just hits Kadosh, not just because, as it hit me, that's the famous understanding of why we say 6 million Kedoshim. When a Jew dies, I'll be Kiddush Hashem because they goy. Yamach Shemam v'Zichram. killed them because they were Jewish. And every one of those 800 Jews died because they were Jewish. And therefore they are Kadosh, and they died al pi Kiddush Hashem. But the reality, Rabbi is saying, this is what we have to remember about every single Jew, and you also have to remember about ourselves. We put ourselves down, we put limitations about ourselves, and we ask ourselves, what can I do? And is my tefillah heard? My heart's not in it, but there are all the different rationalizations we come up with. Remember, let's remember those words of that wonderful Jew in Beersheba, was able to spark another Jew. Every Jew's tefillahs are beloved by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Every Jew, HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to hear what he has to say. If we can turn to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then we can make a difference in the world. We have no idea of what we can impact.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org